Covers are all coming off as we speak. The sun's out.
Yeah, we're going to have a bat, I think.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to have a bat.
It's freezing cold in East Lancashire. Taking all the precautions possible to try and get this game on Tuesday night. This run of 3 home games is always going to be a testing one. How much are you looking forward to Plymouth?
Looking forward to the game. Obviously, I know Lowy well, and it was a good game at their place. They've continued the form, done well the weekenders, and asked a lot of questions about the top side in Portsmouth. 2-0 up with a few minutes to go. We'd be very, very disappointed they haven't won that game. And we know what problems they can pose us, and we've got to get back to posing more problems for the opposition than what we did on Saturday.
It was entertaining stuff at Home Park when you met a couple of weeks ago. Do you expect the same here, or will the conditions play a part, do you think?
Well, you've got to be mindful of the conditions, and we can't govern that. But you can still try and play the football the right way. And, I think both teams won't change the style of football. They might have to adapt to the conditions, but the focus and the ethos of how they're going to play the game, I don't think they'll change.
Just how much adaptation are you having to do for the winter conditions in general and for the fixture schedule, but also, of course, because of the circumstances you find yourselves here with the pitch and the weather?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to get second in the games on, haven't you? And then, don't complain too much about the pitch because of the weather. And you've got to find a way. You've got to find a way to play, adapt to the conditions. That doesn't mean that you go from being a passing team to a long ball team overnight, but you just have to, there's certain selections in your passing, certain selections in your movement, in your covering, that has to be adjusted. And then even then, you're not guaranteed to get things right or wrong. You're looking at arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, and he didn't change his decisions and got punished for it last night. So you're always trying to strive to be better. We are always striving to be better, but we're not alone in it. Everyone else is, and unfortunately, people make mistakes, and that's how you get up and you respond to that, and you don't let it affect what you do going forward. You've got to believe in what you're doing is right. So we believe we're playing a certain way, and then we're stopped by doing that by one, by the opposition, by two, by the conditions. Do we think, okay, well, what we're doing then could have been wrong? There's an argument. Well, it's fallacy if you're trying to play lots of one-touch, two-touch passing when the conditions are very bad. But then, do you abandon all that and just go long and then get nothing out of it? So there's a balance between reading the game, and you need that with experienced players, and we've got quite a few experienced players in our team. Obviously, we've got experienced coaches, and we'll speak about that this week.
How important is your experience? Because you made a substitution after something like 27 minutes at the weekend when you saw that something needed to change and wasn't quite working, and it seemed to have an effect.
It did have an effect, and that's not me trying to pat myself on the back. It had an effect on Wednesday when we were winning 4-1 against Bristol Rovers. That's no slight or slur on the player who come off. As I said, Sadiq was doing nothing wrong. It was the shape of our team that I just wasn't comfortable with. I needed a little bit more height, and I needed a little bit more balance on the side of the pitch. So that's why that change was made. And sometimes you've got to be prepared to do them earlier rather than later. Now, I've had my fingers burnt once this year when I didn't make a change. I tried to get to half time against Gillingham without making a change, and I learned my lesson on that. So, if I feel a change is going to be needed, I'll make it permanent.
Is that something that's changing in your approach to games, with particularly the fixture schedule? Because you've always been I don't like to change too much, I don't like substitutions even.
Yeah, I still don't want to go down the rotation scenario. I still think, your plan A is always probably the right one. But we've got a good squad now, and no disrespect to players in the past, but we didn't always strengthen when we made a sub. I think now we're capable of strengthening when we make subs, all over the park. We've got good, healthy competition with places.
Touched on Plymouth and the game you played against them recently. Do you have to make a plan for Danny Mayer and players of that quality?
Yeah, you've got to be aware of him. You've got to be aware of the threat that he poses. But again, if you go too overboard on it, you end up focusing all your thoughts on Danny Mayer and not thinking about how you're going to play yourself and how the rest of the Plymouth team are going to play. And they're not a one-man team. Not a chance at that. They're a very, very good footballer side. And, for all the plaudits Danny May's getting, Luke Jeff got to the leading goal scorer in the league. So, you know, they've got more than one threat. But, you know, we'll be aware of what he can do, but we certainly won't be focusing all our thoughts on him. And more importantly, we'll want them to be thinking about our star players, you know, our attacking players, and make them be in the forefront of their mind, which I'm sure they will be.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeff got there with your front two as well, and the form that they've been in.
Yeah.
There's a potential for some top performances.
Shoot out at the wham.
Yes.
Well, no, listen, you know, they're good players, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing when you see young lads who want to go far in the game, and I'm enjoying watching our strikers play at the moment.
You've not got Joe Pritchard because of his sending off at the weekend. Mr. Versatile, he's played in so many different roles for you. Is he one of those, John, that he isn't perhaps appreciated as much as he should be, and might be more appreciated, but he's not in the team?
I get where you're coming from that. But Joe's that much of an exciting player that I think he is appreciated. It's like your Seamus Keneally's and your Andy Proctors that you miss when you don't realise how well they do for the team, because they don't do anything breathtakingly good, but they very, very rarely do anything wrong, and they do loads of good work in between. And so I think Joe will be missed. But we've got players to add to that squad, and or add to that 11 that I know are desperate to play.
And just lastly, where are you at with the injury situation? I know it's been like 2 days since the last game.
But you've got to monitor Matt, see how he is, and take it from there.